and welcome to this week's Schreiber Council meeting. Some roads will be closed for the Heritage Days Festival this month. The Special Projects Administrator report will be presented to Council, and the new changes to the Recreation Programmer reports will be discussed. Now here is this week's agenda. Thank you for watching.
Good evening, everybody. I'd like to welcome everybody to the meeting. And before we begin, we would like to begin by acknowledging that we are in Robinson Superior Treaty Territory and that the land on which we gather is the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe and the Métis. I'd like to call the open session to order. We have approval of agenda. Is there any disclosures of interest for tonight's meeting? Hearing none, we have no delegations. Question period.
I received none.
Okay. Minutes of the previous meeting. Resolution 178-24, moved by Councillor Morrow, seconded by Councillor Bergeon, that the minutes of the Council and Committee of the Whole meeting held June 25th, 2024 be accepted as circulated. Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Carried. Business arising from the minutes, Committee of the Whole recommendations. Resolution 179-24. Moved by Councillor McGrath, seconded by Councillor Bryson, that Council approve the quotation from Uline in the amount of $568 plus applicable taxes for the purchase of recycling containers and liners for all Township of Schreiber facilities. Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Carried. Paper time. Resolution 180-24, moved by Councillor Bryson, seconded by Councillor McGrath, that Council approve the expenditure request and approval to proceed from the Ontario Clean Water Agency for digester cleaning vac truck services at the Schreiber wastewater treatment plant in the amount of $7,253.45, including applicable taxes. Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Carried. Resolution 181 -24. Moved by Councilor Bryson, second by Councilor Morrow. The council authorized the temporary closure of Winnipeg Street from where Winnipeg Street is intersected by Manitoba Street through to where Winnipeg Street is intersected by Scotia Street, and the temporary closure of Scotia Street from where Scotia Street is intersected by Winnipeg Street through to where Scotia Street is intersected by a subway street. And that the closure take effect from July 20th, 2024, 10 a.m. to July 21st, 2024, 3 a.m. for events associated with Heritage Days. And that all streets will reopen to regular traffic no later than 3:30 a.m. on July 21st, 2024. Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Carried. Resolution 182-24. Moved by Councilor McGrath, second by Councilor Bryson. The council authorized the temporary closure of Scotia Street from where Scotia Street intersects the Schreiber Splash Pad Park to where Scotia Street intersects Manitoba Street, and the temporary closure of Manitoba Street from where Manitoba Street intersects Scotia Street to where Manitoba Street intersects Huron Street. And that closure take effect from July 18th, 2024, 11:30 a.m. to July 18th, 2024, 5:30 p.m. for the CP Rail Kids Train. And that the streets will reopen to regular vehicle traffic no later than 6 p.m. on July 18th, 2024. Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Carried. Resolution 183-24. Moved by Councilor Bryson, seconded by Councilor McGrath. That the council of the Township of Schreiber support the resolution of the Township of Larder Lake with respect to financial assistance to municipalities to complete the asset retirement obligations. Discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Okay, accounts for payment. Resolution 184-24. Moved by Councilor Bryson, second by Councilor Bergeau. That checks issued on the general bank account in the month of June 2024 in the amount of $375,225.13 for general accounts payable be approved and ratified. Discussion?
I know Marlene's here, but I'm sure that Midden kind of knows the answer to this. June 28th, Simcoe Refrigeration, $48,697. And my guess is that is for the arena. Would I be right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And then on June 28th, I checked to Main Rehabilitation for $21,389.
Main Rehabilitation was the ones that did Ontario Street.
I thought so. Tammy, do you know what that's for?
She did.
Yes, that's the 1 year holdback. So 1 year has expired now, so the maintenance holdback can be released. That's that payment.
It's like a warranty thing, Tammy?
Yes,
That holdback? Okay. And that amount was already considered in the whole project. Like that's not coming, that was probably for 2023, yeah?
yeah, it was all part of the original scope of work.
Thank you. Anybody else got questions?
No? All those in favor? Carried. Resolution 185 -24. Moved by Councilor McGrath, seconded by Councilor Morrow, that bank debits issued on the general bank account in the month of June 2024 in the amount of $58,790.34 for payroll be approved and ratified. Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Carried. No unfinished business. This is so other business. Resolution 186-24. Moved by Councilor Bryson, seconded by Councilor McGrath, that bylaw 22-2024 being a bylaw to authorize the execution of an agreement between the Township of Schreiber and His Majesty the King in Right of Ontario regarding 100 Langworthy Street be given first, second, third, and final reading and enacted. Discussion?
And just for the public's sake, that was in regards to,
So the court's renting the recreation hall for their proceedings.
All those in favor? Carried. Resolution 186, or 187, I mean. Resolution 187-24. Moved by Councilor Morrow, seconded by Councilor Burgeot. And that bylaw 23-2024 being a bylaw to authorize the execution of agreement between the Township Schreiber and Circle Driver Examination Services be given first, second, third, and final reading and enacted. Discussion?
That contract is for the drive test people that come here and rent one room from us to provide the service for our residents.
And that's for 5 year.
Yes.
Okay. All those in favor? Carried. Resolution 188-24. Yeah, I'll come back in one.
Oh, okay.
Moved by Councilor McGrath, second by Councilor Bryson, that bylaw 2024, being a bylaw to authorize the execution of agreement between the Township of Schreiber and PSD citywide for ARO services be given first, second, third, and final reading and enacted.
So, oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
This is for our asset retirement obligations. Actually, we had our kickoff meeting with them and it looks like they can finish by the end of August.
Finished by the end of August?
Yes,
And we require this to be able to get our 2023 financial statements, right?
correct.
Okay. Oh, that's good news.
Yes. That is. Okay, resolution 188. That's, oh. All those in favor? Sorry.
There's a lot going
That's
on
just-
tonight.
Carried. Resolution 189 -24. Moved by Councillor Bryson, second by Councillor McGrath, that bylaw 25-2024 being a bylaw to adopt a policy regarding the use of social media by township employees be given first, second, third, and final reading and enacted. Discussion?
Wanda? Oh, is there any, well, I'm going to assume there's a plan where this policy is going to go to each staff member and you're gonna have a sign-up sheet that each staff person has read and understood the policy?
Correct, yes.
Will this be reviewed annually?
It should be, yes.
Signed and, okay.
Hearing no more, all those in favor? Carried.
It's not the package.
I'm sorry, this is gonna go in our policy binder?
Yes.
Okay, resolution 190-24. Moved by Council Morrow, second by Councillor Burchot, that council authorized the temporary closure of Winnipeg Street from where Winnipeg Street is intersected by Manitoba Street through to where Winnipeg Street is intersected by Scotia Street, and the temporary closure of Scotia Street from where Scotia Street is intersected by Winnipeg Street through to where Scotia Street is intersected by Subway Street. And that the closure take effect from July 28th, 2024, 3:30 p.m. to July 28th, 2024, 4:30 p.m. for events associated with the Teddy Bear Picnic. And that the streets be reopened to regular vehicle traffic no later than 5 p.m. on July 28th, 2024. Discussion?
Rhonda, I don't know if you can answer this or maybe your recreation programmer. This event is slated to go on from 12 noon to 4 p.m. I get it, the parade's probably only the very end of it, at 3:30 to like 4:30. This is just a nervous grandmother's question. So from 12 to 3:30, while the kids are out in the pavilion area, the street's going to be open.
Correct.
Do you have any concerns?
I do not, because there are going to be many of us there. It's pretty, Mary Jane has done a really good job with Evan, and there's a really good schedule, of events. The kids are gonna be so busy. And the parents, of course, were expecting to stay with the kids. I don't think there will be a problem. It was more a concern of when the kids do the parade and are actually on the sidewalk, if a balloon goes astray, will a child chase it, So, but I think while we're doing the activity in the park itself, it'll be fine.
I'm not concerned.
Okay, hearing no more discussion, all those in favor? Carried. So that brings to close the regular council. We go to committee of the whole meeting now. The department reports and committee board minutes. So, CO/clerk, monthly report. Number one.
I just really wanted to let council and the public know how hard the staff has been working since my last report. Evans held, excuse me, the Canada Day event, which was a huge success. I think everybody had a really good time. There was a couple of small hiccups, but Evan handled it very well. And I think nobody even really caught on or noticed to anything. It was very well done. Tammy and the team, you know, like they're always working hard with you, Councilor Borjo, with the, I think that the bag tag, you know, implementation for July 2nd, I guess, because the first was a holiday. It went off pretty good, I think, for the first week. There was a few hiccups, you know, some small issues, but nothing that was overly serious. The finance department is working, you know, really hard on just keeping things maintained by tackling month end, invoicing, housekeeping matters, and concentrating on the 2023 financial audit. Again, we're really close to Heritage Days. Evan has got a really good handle on this. I think it's going to be a terrific event. I'm excited to experience it for the first time, and I think the residents are going to be very pleased. Kim has done very well working with McSweeney to finalize our strategic plan. She's come up with some other great ideas that council will be privy to a little later. And Cecile, I mean, my goodness, these council packages don't create themselves, and I certainly don't have all the time in the world to do it, so I'm very appreciative of everything that she does as well. Anybody have any questions?
I've got no questions, just comments. I think it's a great report, great positive report. And I concur with you when everything seems to be clicking and everybody puts their mind to it.
Yeah. And of course, Kathy, oh my goodness, I can't forget Kathy Cardino. I almost did. Her barbecues are such a hit. Oh my, you know, and that, I think that was a big sell for Canada Day too. It was having the barbecue there.
Yeah, I was busy.
Yeah, you guys look busy. Yeah.
Okay, we'll give you another shot at it. CAO report number 2.
Thanks. This is in regards to the recreation policy R95-1. So this policy, I didn't even know existed till it was brought to my attention. But 1995, it certainly needed some updating and some tweaking. Things have certainly changed, I'm sure, from what I'm gathering over the last little while on how the recreation department is, you know, runs their events or who's involved and not involved. There was actually, Cecile and I were looking, she brought it up, that it's really important when we write policy or bylaws that we make sure that we're repealing or rescinding previous bylaws, policies, and amendments. So if council is okay with this policy, we'll actually have to now repeal policy R-95-1, bylaws 39, 1999, 16, 2006, 19, 2015, 24, 2015, 24, 2016, 26, 2016, 3, 2017, 26, 2017, 42 through 2019, and 10, 2019, as they were never rescinded or repealed as the processes went forward.
So not just a policy, 10 bylaws
Yes,
in regards to this.
yes.
And you would need a bylaw for this because,
You don't typically,
okay,
you know, it should
It's
just be a policy.
okay.
But because they're in effect now, we need to rescind them.
Okay.
So your recommendation is to,
Oh, sorry. The council, does hereby enact policy R 24-1, being a policy to govern the procedures of the recreation department.
And the only thing I'll mention is that I see in here that our new our recreation programmer is going to give us one status report monthly.
Mhm.
He's in attendance tonight. Can we expect that once a month, that this will be the regular new norm
Mhm.
moving forward? Perfect, thank you.
is there,
I have one question.
sorry,
It's on refunds. And the reason I'm gonna bring it up is brought to my attention about
Mhm.
a family emergency.
Mhm.
And when an event had to be canceled, then it was a fairly large event over a number of days. And because of a family emergency, there was no refund available, so is there room in this policy for that kind of a one? I know it's not gonna happen that often, but it does happen, so.
I think definitely in a case like that, it should be handled case by case basis. I mean, like the original policy did talk about refunds, where you could either within so many days or so many classes of the program or whatever, right? That you could get your money back. However, or you could transfer it to a different event. Like if you couldn't make it to soccer, but you wanted to try baseball or whatever, that the money could be transferred that way. But definitely in a situation like that, I don't see why, it couldn't be considered on its own.
Will that be in the
We
policy?
can add that, we can certainly add that clause.
Okay, appreciate it.
Yeah.
Do either of you guys? Then my only second point was the question regarding on page 5, 10.1 registration fees. When determining registration fees, the recreation program must endeavor to recover 100% of the programs. Well, I guess my concern is with our bigger programs like hockey and figure skating. And I know that I have addressed that before with you, but my guess is that you could never recoup 100% of the arena costs.
Definitely not from the
Okay.
arena. The arena is the municipality's biggest expense.
And it's always been my understanding, and maybe Benji and Dave, you guys could talk to this, that recreation costs. And not always can you get 100% of it back.
Well, you're not using it 100% of the time, I mean.
No,
That's right. Yeah, so there's different factors that kind of play into this. So if the arena was booked all the time, like if there was something happening every day, then definitely, there's a possibility of breaking even. Let's face it, ice plants are very expensive to maintain and run for such a short period of time. Just the startup and the shutdown alone is just astronomical costs, right? So, I mean, the whole point of this is that I know, like in an arena, I think it would be foolish to expect to recoup 100% of the costs when you factor in, the ice plant and labor and whatnot, right? But I think that we should strive harder to gain more than what we are. So, I mean, user fees, that is definitely something that if they were increased would help. But again, it's a small community, so how far do you raise those? Yeah, that's right, yeah.
To figure it out though, right?
Yeah.
Little cost, break it down and.
You'd have to, that's
You know
right.
what I mean? It's.
I think it's a very fine line. You can't keep going out there and what, I may as well keep talking hockey, figure skating and all that. Like, small towns are going to absorb that. Like, it's
part of providing
You're going to,
recreation, right?
you gotta give them a lifestyle in the winter and the whole bit. I think where you could recoup some of the costs is bringing in more 1 or 2 night stands, events.
Mhm.
Like you could bring in, and I believe Evan's done it before, you bring in a wrestling or something, a big ticket, not even so much a big ticket, but bring that in and profit off that, and it goes back into your, that's just one example, or roller skating derby or something, they bring in their own stuff.
Yeah.
Right, just, think outside the box, like, I mean, the arena doesn't have to be running like a big city arena, but I mean, it could be, run more if we want to bring in more money. It doesn't always have to be on the backs of the taxpayer or program
Right.
that's running.
Mhm.
To watch too, because if there's other options, we either get too high and people can go elsewhere, these are groups will.
Well, yeah, and that's kind of my point. You gotta bring in some other entertainment.
To try and pick up some of the
Yeah.
unused costs. Rhonda, did you want to?
Evan, did you have any thoughts on? Sorry, I can't.
That's okay. I'm not too, like, I know what we're talking about, we've talked about it a bit, but I haven't seen the policy to go through it really to know exactly what we're discussing.
Well, it's just like one line in the policy that just spoke about user fees and trying to recoup,
100% of the cost.
And how would we determine, like, we're saying hydro, all that kind of stuff costs?
Yeah.
Well, how would we determine?
Like in an arena, I honestly don't think
Yeah.
you ever will. I don't.
like I
think it's
understand like for dances and for smaller
That's
events, that's possible. But I just wondered what your thoughts were for what we've been discussing with recouping costs with the arena, what the mayor said and what Rhonda's talked about, and even your committee members about the increasing costs of running an arena versus fees.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say. Like, we are a small town. It's something that we provide, but, you know, I think, I don't think we're ever gonna recoup that, the 100%. It's not gonna,
Those big ticket things are,
yeah.
they're very hit or miss. And you do a big ticket thing during Heritage Days and no one will go in our arena. You know, we did that last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think you said it earlier, there's a line, and I think that's where we need to pay close attention to, because some of the user fees, I think, increased a little bit drastically over the last year. I think people will understand, with all the things going on, it's incremental increases, as long as they're not substantial. Trying to recoup that 100% right now, right? Like, I don't, like you said, we'll never get there, but we definitely shouldn't be trying to get there.
No.
Today.
Yes.
I don't know. What do you think about that one, I wonder?
We could reword it definitely then, excluding the arena or something, or the larger programs, but I mean, yeah,
My worrying would be that it's very easy to do something 14 kilometers away.
Even if we change the word
Instead of
must
doing it here,
to,
you know?
strive.
shall attempt to, or something, you know?
Stride, yeah.
Or make every effort to, or something along those lines.
I guess come back to through the August meeting with some amendments
Sure.
to our
Yeah.
concerns and
And I don't know what you guys, I had a couple of little concerns, but other than that, the policy is very well written. The language is clear, it's easy to understand. I take no issue with it. It was just a couple little things and I just thought, oof.
Sure.
yeah. So,
For sure.
well, we're good with that.
Yep.
Okay, number 3, provincial and federal support.
Oh, sorry, back to that. Under the fee exemptions, do do we put schools in that, or is that a different policy? Is that an agreement with schools?
You're talking about
Okay,
like next door, like when we share our facilities?
Yeah, 10.2, it says fee exemptions, the non-for-profits, which the whole fundraising may apply. Do we put like our local schools, like, they don't have to pay to use the arena?
Okay.
I don't know if that's a separate thing. Is it a separate thing, like that agreement that you with the schools? Or is it,
There
or
are
was
joint,
it in?
there are joint use agreements, but they're quite dated.
Yeah.
That may be something that you wanna look at too, is
Okay.
updating those as well.
Thank you.
Just wanted to change one little policy, eh, girl? 10 bylaws. 10 bylaws, a policy, now joint user agreements.
What are you guys doing to me?
I know, no kidding.
Okay, number 3.
Oh, I get a third shot. All right, so this is in regards to provincial and federal support for our wastewater treatment facility. So over Heritage Days, I had sent out some invitations to some of the ministers or the MPs or the MPPs within the area to maybe come and attend, and maybe council could approach them at different points with some of the different issues. And so there was one in particular that we had heard was going to be on a North Shore tour this week, and our meeting kind of got way pushed off for scheduling purposes, no fault of her own. So what I did was we had asked Tammy to prepare a document outlining how much we have spent to date since 2019 on the wastewater treatment plant for maintenance, repairs, upgrades, whatever. And she had done that, but now since we will not get our shot to sit down with the minister, then what I did was I put it in the letter format. So we will hand it to her on Thursday when we meet with her for coffee. And then I would like council's permission to forward this for support to the other 444 municipalities in Ontario, and to Premier Doug Ford, and to His Honorable Justin Trudeau, just to raise awareness that small municipalities are hemorrhaging with these new regulations, that they're forcing everybody into doing these upgrades, but they're not offering any assistance.
Straight out.
I wrote like one word, excellent. Like that figure, as you can see, the township has, I love that word too, endured, $1,518,061 in unexpected repairs over the last 5 years. Never mind what you want for us to do this project.
Okay, we're gonna
It's
have,
crazy. It's perfect. I think the letter is great.
oh no, the letter is excellent. It's what we wanted covered, and Tammy and Marlene both worked at it, and Rhonda. But anyway, we will be meeting with Patty Thursday morning at 10. I think everybody's welcome.
Where are you meeting?
We're meeting she's meeting us at Robbins.
Right.
And then we're going across the street. She wants to meet the 5 summer students that are working with us. So we'll be meeting at the museum. So at that point in time, I believe Patty's gonna, she's mentioned she's gonna have a chat with me. I think we're gonna try and get a chat going on, whether it be with Patty or Crystal the following week in Thunder Bay. So we're not gonna let this go. We can't. And then she's moving on to Terrace Bay for noon. They have a sit down meeting with her for a bit. And then the provincial rep will be coming in, and she'll get the same letter.
Yes.
And she's gonna be around for a day and a half, I believe, so we'll have time to sit down and discuss a few things.
Well, it kind of rounds up our whole case, right? It really does. And as well, we have applied for, an audience with the minister regarding this at AMO in August, correct, Linda?
Correct,
Okay.
yes.
I think the letters, I think excellent, very
It's actually
excellent.
eye-opening to what the actual costs are to the small municipalities than just to keep the lights on.
Well, that's it. It's easier for the bigger policymakers to make these regulations, but
Yeah.
they don't think about what they're doing to the small municipality or,
And Kim will be at that meeting too. She's been
on Thursday.
with, okay, good. Okay, Director of Operations report, status update.
So most of this report is about the non-compliance and AWQIs that we've had recently. We are working, the non-compliance is not going to really get any better until we complete the repairs down at the wastewater treatment plant. That's where most of those non-compliances are coming from. The AWQI, we've had some issues as far with the filters. They have to maintain 95% or higher per month, and we fell below that. So, but that was part of the trouble that we had earlier in the month where we had that boil water. And they are still waiting to replace the butterfly valve in filter 2. So once that is completed, that situation will get a lot better as well. The solid waste, we did have a couple small hiccups during the first week of garbage collection with the bag tags, but all in all, it went extremely well. We've also heard more from the businesses now, the commercial sector. They've had a chance to see what to expect in regards to the bag tags. So we've heard from more of the commercial sector, and we've got them signed up to the appropriate levels that they either will be invoiced on a time base or go with the bag tags. So we've got a lot of the things worked out. So we're looking forward to the end of the month when GFL comes in, or we're assuming it's GFL, the contractor comes in and collects the recycling. That will be our next hurdle, and we'll just take that as it comes.
Anybody got any questions for Tammy on this? Okay.
Go ahead.
So Tammy, the aqua incident reports for the water treatment plant, we're attributing pretty much all of that to that butterfly valve?
No, not all of it. We had June 17th, there was a total coliform in the Isvester drive sample. That's the end of the line.
Okay.
So they flushed and resampled. We all those samples came back clean. Then there was the just going to my report here, the AWQI for the elevated HAAs. That was July 3rd. That's an ongoing issue for us, and until we get the smart meter installed at the water treatment plant, that will correct a lot of that. And then then there was the monthly filter efficiency, as I described earlier. So there was a variety of reasons that we ended up having AWQIs come through.
So do we have a date when that butterfly valve will be changed?
They are, I've been on holidays, but I have been staying on top of my emails. So I haven't talked to Aqua about it, but, judging from the emails that I've read, they have indicated that the level in the elevated water tank was, lower than what they were comfortable with. So we're just waiting for the elevated tank to recover and build up enough, water again that we can afford taking the plant offline, replacing the butterfly valve, then they'll bring it back online. But as you all know, that bringing the water plant back online, is a 3 to 4 hour process. So we want to make sure that we have enough water, in the elevated tank to, supply the community while the repairs are being made.
And that smart meter, it's not on my capital list anymore. That's here, we're just waiting for it to be installed, right?
I can't remember, sorry, if that has actually arrived with long lead time on that smart meter. But there is also some, pipe changes, configuration that needs to change to accommodate that smart meter. And I think that, they were also working on that plan before we actually install it.
And then my only other question is regarding Aqua's taking on the unidirectional flushing for the township. And I understand that you've got staffing issues at Public Works. I'm just wanting to make sure that Public Works is aware that Aqua's going to undertake this now.
Yes, we had quite a lengthy discussion, between, Aqua, Public Works and myself to try and determine how we were gonna get our water duties, done this summer with us, facing such a big staff shortage. So Aqua will take on the unidirectional flushing, and they are going to also fill out the valve exercising forms while they're doing the flushing. That leaves maybe 12 to 20 valves that may need to be turned. And then we can accomplish that much. But, to do the unidirectional flushing with, just one ticket guy, one employee that has a ticket is, it's just not possible. You need to have 2 people present. And with the vacation schedule, that was just proving to be quite a challenge.
And this is the time of year this directional flushing normally gets done?
It has to be done during summer months. So Aqua has indicated that they can, do Schreiber at the end of August, beginning of September, and that will meet the criteria for the inspectors when they come.
So is this something that you might that you are concerned about with planning for next year?
If you recall, when we were looking at the capital list for Aqua, they, as with everything else, the price of unidirectional flushing went up with Aqua. They were
Right.
charging us 13 rather than 10. And then we also needed to develop a valve exercising program, as was indicated by our last inspection report. So they were also charging us 13,000 for that process as well. So we have been very clear that we're not going to incur any, they're doing the valve exercising and the unidirectional flushing for that one $13,000. We'll do the balance of the valve exercising. And next year we can look at it again, but Aqua has traditionally done the flushing, so we can leave it with them once we determine how we're going to handle the valve exercising. But there is really no reason why valve exercising and flushing cannot be done at the same time. You're turning all of the valves anyways, or at least most of them. So we'll be responsible for some, I anticipate, and then Aqua will do the majority of them.
Thanks, Stanley.
On the topic of the staffing issues, is there a plan, should there be continued staffing issues? Like we can operate with 2 guys?
Well, we're hoping that, the fourth person that we were talking about, is established soon, that we can move forward with that, and that will help out a lot.
Okay.
Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so where we're at with that position is, so because it's a union position, we sent the job posting and the job description to the union for approval. In doing so, they have forwarded it to a member who is currently on vacation for their feedback. So once that member comes back to work next week, he'll give feedback and then hopefully the union will sign off and we can go ahead and post.
Okay, Tammy, I got a question about the butterfly valve for filter number 2. That's, is that the valve that is closed, that is not allowing filter 2 to run?
That's right. It's a pneumatic valve, and there's something wrong inside the valve, so they have to shut the plant down in order to change that butterfly valve, and then filter 2 can be brought back online.
So, okay, so there's obviously no other valve to shut off on that line, so they can work on that.
No, there is not.
Okay, I'll leave it at that right now. Okay, thanks.
The splash pad closure, I understand why. I'm just wondering, could we not just like reduce the hours instead?
Nice.
Pardon me?
Want me to speak to that?
Yeah, okay.
So, Councilor Morrow, Tammy has been on vacation,
Yeah, no,
so she wouldn't even be
no.
aware of what's happening here, right? I haven't bothered her with any situations here. So, there, as she had said previously, there was a concern about the level of the water in the, raised tank. So Aqua had requested that we go to water conservation and that we shut the splash pad off, until they got the level to where they wanted it. They have a magic number in mind and that's what they're shooting for. We did have a conversation, the mayor and myself, with Patrick Couture from Aqua, and it was suggested to him that the splash pad be still open but at reduced hours. He went back to the operator who said no, that wouldn't be good enough. And so Patrick came back to us and said no, that we had to do an immediate closure in order to get the level to where they needed it for the repair. With Heritage Days coming up, that was a huge concern because Evans Fair Day, there is a water slide, there's activities at the splash pad. So we did tell Aqua that, you know, that's fine. We would shut it off for now, but Saturday for Heritage Days, that morning it's getting turned back on. And then we would make sure that it got shut off that night so that they could proceed to do the repair the following week.
So it is happening
Yes.
next week?
Yes.
And then we're back to regular hours at the splash pad?
Correct.
That splash pad is supposed to be shut off.
No, it's not?
And, before I went to Thunder Bay yesterday, it had climbed 10-11%.
The tank?
Over the weekend. And everything was looking good. I'm just gonna leave it at that right now.
So it's gonna be off until next week?
It's supposed to be off until
Saturday.
I believe Rhonda has permission through Patrick Couture to turn it on during Saturday, but the splash pad is supposed to be off right now.
Okay.
And it's all because of this butterfly valve that failed?
What had happened, just so people know, what had happened is when we went into the boil water on June 10th, it was because of the pass pump. We had issues with the pass pump, and when they were trying to go back online, this butterfly valve acted up and it locked in the closed position. So since the boil water advisory on June 10th, I believe it was, we've been operating on filter 1, filter 3, 4, and 5. Been operating on 4 filters out of 5. We've been doing pretty good. And so, with the splash pad operating, it was going down a little more, and we couldn't, because of, like last year, we were feeding that at a really, really good rate with 5 filters running. But you can't feed it at night on that really, really good rate with 4 filters. And so my first line of duty here is to make sure the citizens of Schreiber have clean, potable, drinkable water. My second duty is to make sure there's adequate fire protection. And in doing so, and doing what we have done, or what Ontario Clean Water Agency has done, we are assuring that for our residents, as long as something doesn't screw up in the plant, but we're assuring that the water supply is there. And when they get the butterfly valve hopefully fixed next week, then we'll be back to 5 filters and everything will be running according to plan. So that's what's going on, just in a nutcase.
Well, it's good, it informs the public why we have a splash pad that's shut down, and there's some, I mean,
Yeah,
you do what you
it's,
have to do.
like, you hear, it's.
Yeah.
The water plant can handle everything if the 5 filters work.
Yeah.
And it will be. Okay, I guess Director of Operations, Aqua expense requests. They're up again, Tammy?
Okay, some of this is, has already been passed on the capital, expense request, for Aqua. But, because the amounts, as opposed to last year, we passed a resolution that, everything on the capital list, I could just use that same resolution number. We didn't do that this year, so with all of these expenses, we'll have to get a resolution number as the expenses come up. So the first one was not budgeted. So the 9,267 was not budgeted, and that's for the Moen motor for the rate drive at the Clarifier 2 down at the wastewater treatment plant. And then the chemical drum pump is 1,345. The soda ash pump is 10,817.50, and the pass pump is 5,827. Some of these items were used up last year during the August, I believe it was August, we had a lightning strike at the plant, and a lot of these critical parts were used during that crisis. So that's why it has been added to the budget for 2024 to replenish some of those parts so that we have them on hand in case something happens again. So 3 were budgeted and that 1 item was not budgeted.
Tammy, thanks for explaining that, 'cause I couldn't figure out why you were asking for approval on stuff we'd already approved in the capital budget. So yeah, moving forward, because you're right, number 3, the soda ash pump, and number 4, the pass pump are both on our capital budget. So I completely understand that. That chemical drum pump, it's not on the capital budget, but I'm gonna bet that it's on your wastewater treatment plant budget.
Yes, it is.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this,
Yeah,
sorry, go ahead.
sorry, I'm pretty sure that it is on the capital list, actually.
Unless it's tied up with VFD cabinet, blower and aeration system, is it part of one of those 2 things?
No. And the chemical drum pump is for the water treatment
For a
plant.
water treatment
It's-
plant.
Yeah, it transfers the chemical from the drums into the dispensing tank.
So then maybe what I'll do is I'll just double check with Rhonda, because I don't have no water treatment plant either. I've got SCADA, building, roof, soda ash pump, chlorine spare parts, fast pump, and dam intake springs.
Okay.
But I mean, it's such a, Tammy, it's a small amount and you obviously need it. I'm not that concerned about it. But I guess my concern comes in with this mow and mortar. So that's going to fix the rate, drive and clarifier too, I understand that. We're talking here about possibly taking it out of reserves. So my question is, and maybe it's for you and Rhonda, so is your plan to incorporate this into your wastewater treatment plant budget, Tammy, and then lessen the amount we transfer to reserves? Or are you saying we want to add it to the capital budget that was already approved? Do you have a thought one way or another how you want that done?
I usually defer those questions to Marlene. I usually tell her what I need in money and she tells me how we can make it happen or not happen.
Okay. Thoughts, Rhonda?
Exactly, it's ultimately gonna have to be like reserve fund, so it just means we won't transfer that much.
So we'll just incorporate this into the wastewater treatment plant budget and then just transfer less into
Yeah,
reserves.
it's kind of be like an in and an in.
Okay, gotcha. I got no problem with it, it's just, I'm just trying to make numbers work. Because it's a larger piece. The other thing is, I guess last but not least, Tammy, the ESA stuff, you've already said in the prior reports can be done at the end of the month, or at the end of this year. This motor, like, is there room in the ESA budget to include this motor, that maybe something else has been underspent, or no?
The motor was rewound because it was an emergency, need to get it fixed.
Okay.
However, we have to wait and see how things develop as automation now works through the ESA upgrades, because we don't know if we're looking at any change orders down the road or, we can always hope that it's going to go seamlessly and have it all completed, within the budget.
Okay,
But, we can't really predict the future yet, so I can't really answer that yet.
okay.
But
Fair,
I definitely will make a note of it to consider adding it if there is room.
okay. And then you could just leave your reserves alone is my only thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Come on, guys.
Okay. Number 6, Finance and Special Projects Administrator Status Update.
So this report basically outlines everything that is going on. The front table kind of shows you an outline of the projects that have been completed. You're finally completed all reporting and everything needed for the downtown revitalization, which is super exciting. Then we have a few projects in progress and some that will be starting and hopefully a few that we are going to get approved for. So what I've done for the pavilion is I have Tammy and Marlene and myself have sat down and went over everything that we need to make this project happen. We've come up with some quotes and some estimates based on other projects. So that report will be coming to you guys in the August meeting. I'm kind of at a standstill with the MTO signage right now, but you will get a report of what is existing and what is going to cost to renew. The arena project, we got confirmation that the roof repairs will be funded through NOHFC, so that's exciting.
Yes,
That's awesome.
that's very good.
Yeah. And then our strategic plan just is we're motoring along there. I have presented you guys with the draft plan. My next meeting with Mick Sweeney will be August 7th. So if you can get any questions or concerns to Rhonda or myself, we can get it off to Mick Sweeney, or hopefully I can answer any questions you have. And have this finalized, so they will be presenting to you in September. Want me to go through all of them?
Did you want to handle questions for the strategic plan at the meeting, or you want me just to email them?
It's probably
Doesn't
better
matter.
if you email them,
To email them?
if you wouldn't mind, and then we have thoughts.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a few.
You got a few notes too, right?
Nothing bad though. I mean,
No, I just
I
have
just-
clarification, yeah.
Yeah.
So, your next meeting with them is August the 7th.
Yeah.
And then it's gonna be presented to council in September.
Yeah.
So I do have a question that I won't email, you'll ask it. So in here, it talks about an implementation plan. The copy that the more finalized plan that we see on August the 7th, is that going to contain the implementation plan?
So the implementation plan was for the project. Like,
Okay, so the implementation plan for the strategic plan.
that will, yeah. So
It's
the
gonna be-
actual implementation plan for the goals that they have set out for us
Yes,
will be done in-house.
okay,
They said they could give us a guideline, but it ultimately comes down to staff and council
okay.
on coming up with that plan and implementing it.
So you need a finalized plan approved to create that implementation plan. And I guess if you're making notes, then my only other note would be, along with the implementation plan, I don't know how the rest of mayor and council thinks, I would expect quarterly reporting and key performance indicators set up in the implementation plan queue so that we can measure our success as we're moving forward. I have some questions about the strategic plan, and I'll let everybody else speak, but I can't tell you how excited I am to see this. So excited.
So the guidelines, is that over and above what their contract is for us?
Do you mean the implementation to
Or
like,
the implementation plan, yeah.
when that question was asked to McSweeney, they said they can set out a guideline, but it does no good because it all ultimately comes down very specific to each municipality. So it will be something that ultimately needs to be done in-house. They have laid like a constraint out in there that you guys, it's noted that
The
that
two
is-
districts, yeah.
Yeah. Our priorities, but after that, it's a discussion for in-house.
no, very good, status report for your first report, very good.
Yeah, appreciate that.
And I'm excited about the strategic plan. So excited. Can I tell you? Gonna make all the difference in the world.
Still lots of work to do.
Yes, thank goodness. They need to keep us around for a little bit.
Okay, number 7, the data analysis and administrator internship.
So what senior management has identified is that a lot of our records are held in paper form and they take up a lot of room. To move us into the future, the way the rest of the world is going, we would like to digitalize things. This is a specific job that will help someone that's new to the field gain experience, as well as getting all of your staff on the same page with the filing so that later on this isn't as big of a task.
If I could just add something quick.
Yep.
So, originally we had been calling this this job title receptionist. But, in talking with NOHFC, they had suggested that the title be changed to what Kim has in her report. So going forward, I mean, a title is neither here nor there for me. It's what the job description is that really matters for me. So I'll have to change any documents that previously I was calling it reception. Okay, but it's the same person, just
So yeah, that was my bigger question. So does this new position, because I've looked over the job description, does this new position fit in with your planned reorganization?
yes,
It handles some of the issues we talked about.
yes.
Excellent. And I know we haven't accepted it, but it meets strat plan goal. We should goal number 4. I'm pretty excited. Pretty excited.
Okay. I like it too. Okay, number 8, Kim, you had mentioned the arena roof. I don't know how much you want to touch on that, but
Yeah, we
that's,
were,
it's excellent news.
yeah, we were able to recoup some of those costs due to infrastructure failure at the arena. In my status report, it did note that there was a project plan change, but that's not needed because it's less than 10%. So that's why there is no resolution coming forward to you guys.
That's just an FYI.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's easy.
Yeah.
Don, did you know if we ever got word from the previous?
It was not.
Okay.
They have disappeared.
That's nice. All right.
They're out there.
Somewhere. Watch your money, everyone.
And but this is being done because of the fresh in my memory.
The vent that was put in,
Yes,
and
that's what this is
primarily-
being covered.
it was identified.
Perfect. That is great work, Kim.
Okay, number 9, beautification committee meeting minutes.
Open.
I wasn't at the meeting, so I
Okay,
will not speak to it. Can you speak to the beautification?
Just here to you.
Yeah.
Right. Everything's going good. All the hanging baskets are up. They did a great job at the cenotaph, the medical center, dental office. Good group. They're very motivated and a lot of good ideas came out of the meeting. There was some concern about, what was it about the black earth?
The Black Earth, there was a miscommunication that it was coming out of their annual donation that we provide them with, but that isn't happening.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that got sorted out.
I did send an email to everybody, I thought.
I,
Yeah.
good up,
Poor Benji gets like probably
yeah.
2,000 emails.
I missed the odd one.
But they do require one load every spring. We do have a resident that could potentially get us a donation of a load every year, so that's.
That's awesome, but if not, then
Yeah.
it's fine.
Our beautification ladies were out there weeding the beds before Heritage Days to make sure it all looked beautiful.
Yeah.
They are all so beautiful,
Yeah.
honestly.
They don't ask for much, and
Yeah.
it's just amazing.
I see them out there. They're not just 9 to 5 workers. They're out there in the evening.
Yeah.
They're highly visible. It's actually.
Could we do like by the end of the summer, a little post on Facebook about what they did with the flowers and all that? And then maybe could someone donate directly to the beautification committee? Like, should you want to donate the flowers next year?
but
Can we do something like that or no?
I was going to make a suggestion for in the dunk tank this year.
Oh, okay.
Like put them in the duct tape?
No,
Oh.
money.
That's me, that's me.
Now, that's not a bad idea. I was gonna make a suggestion
Oh.
that the monies
Yeah. it's just something that everyone in town sees and is appreciative of. And I wonder if people would be willing to fork over $10 here or there.
And how would they do that?
How would you, can you do that?
Ron's would have to speak to that.
Yeah, it definitely, they could make donations to the committee if they wanted to.
Yeah.
It can be held in reserve, but, I mean, we did make a post, before Beth Ann left, she did, put a blurb on Facebook to thank them for their handiwork, but definitely they need to be recognized, maybe even at the end of the year, at the party or something. We can, you know,
We also had a delegation at the meeting and discussed doing some work at the Blue Park. Sounds like there's a lot of interest in from volunteers and doing some work to bring it back up to where it should be. And we also maybe gain another member as well. So. That's good. There's going to be a subcommittee developed, and we're supposed to have a site meeting. I believe it was Monday.
On it
But
rain.
we got rained out, so that will be scheduled to a later date. But good
Yeah.
stuff happening there.
So speak specifically to the playground issues for the Mount Vernon Blue Park, we hope to have those resolved by the end of next week.
nice.
But there is a site visit for some feature development and some thoughts, and they had some really good ideas about people to contact to get me and handle some of that playground stuff, so that was good.
Good work.
I do have additional benches from the Senate to Mallory's Blue Park.
Well, there was just some thought that we have benches that are up, right? And we've got benches that are going downtown. Their thought was maybe in the next couple of sale of benches, is there some thought to perhaps putting a bench down at Mallory's Blue Park? If someone wanted one there, is that a possibility? Is that one of the sites, right? Or even better yet was the picnic table.
Yeah.
If someone buys it, yeah.
Yeah,
There's,
that was our thought.
yeah, there's one down at Schreiber Beach, someone bought it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's just you want to take benches from.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. But just the way the benches are going up, right, at some point, that's gonna be full. Or it's going to be, people are gonna
Oh,
sit,
no.
right?
Like in the memorial bench program,
Exactly.
it explains where you can put a bench and.
Because there is one bench at Mallory's Blue Park, but it's wooden and it's in pretty rough shape.
All them, all that style of benches are in pretty rough shape.
Yes.
I'd love to get them. My thought there was trying to get them into the shops, the high school.
Yeah. Give them a sand and a power wash and a stain, right?
Yep, and they look like $1 million when they come out.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how raggedy they look right now. They look like brand new benches when they come out.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
You should ask the high school in September.
Pardon
You
me?
should ask the high school in September.
September,
You
yeah.
should ask Paul Tiverton.
Mm-hmm.
He's the shop guy.
Yeah, it's just a matter of getting them down there, but I guess you could just take all the wood off them, you wouldn't have to send the heavy cement legs. That's the ones with the cement leg, I guess you could do that too.
Yeah, but the thought was future. You're putting back, if there is because there's some plans about doing, maybe upgrading and doing some beautification stuff down at Mallory Park. Maybe the benches or picnic tables should be of the memorial style, with their own cement pads and stuff. So that was we're just speaking for further. A lot of the plans for the beautification, the committee and Mr. Houston are aware, they're looking at a 5-year plan. They're not looking at, all of a sudden you go down tomorrow and the place is full of benches and picnic tables that were worth a lot of money. Just kind of like growing some seating areas there.
Okay. Recreation program report. So you're gonna speak to that, yeah?
Yeah, I don't know if anyone had any questions. This is my first time doing the monthly report, as you guys said earlier, that I'll be doing it every month now. But yeah, it's just a rundown, kind of like a point form almost in a sense, just of what I did through June. And of course, we figured this out halfway through June, so a lot of it was trying to figure out, okay, what did I do in the beginning? But yeah, it was busy, especially with the bag tags. That was a big shock. Didn't understand how busy it was going to be until I seen almost everyone in Schreiber, I think, come through that door.
Yeah. We aim to please.
No, your overall report, I guess, is good. I mean,
Very good.
the,
Very good.
take a look at it, like your daily, your like, yeah, it's overall good.
Yeah.
Okay, recreation programmer report, committee appointments.
So yeah, we have Callie Brutsky looking to join the rec committee. She's a fantastic volunteer. She's actually been volunteering probably with me since I've been here, probably over 7-8 years. She started with the youth committee, and now she wants to join the rec committee. So I think we're really grateful to have her join. And she has lots of great ideas, lots of energy. So
Yeah, I've seen her work on the youth committee. They're like
yeah,
great ones. So yeah, bring
and we'll attract more people, right? Hopefully, bringing more people and
I don't think-
good diversity there.
Now you're gonna have 4 members.
Yeah.
Tell us what your secret is.
Gotta talk to Kathy currently on that.
Everybody's good with
It's
that?
true. Yes, very good.
What is
Thanks,
the
Senator.
name
That's
for the
excellent.
Next meeting, eh? I mean, she can start anytime.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, next meeting should be.
Yeah. Okay, great.
That is great.
Okay, number 12, recreation programmer for Heritage Today's photograph.
So that would be to get Beth Ann to do photography again for us this year. Last year, of course, she was working for us, so it was a bonus that we just had her around. And ever since Canada Day last year, Heritage Day, we've had just a I would say, selection of marketing photos because of that. And I want to keep that up. I want to keep it going, especially for when we do funding. We have that ability, especially just one weekend we have out of the year, that it makes Schreiber really showcase how great we are. And I think if we could have her do photography on the Thursday for our bocce ball and then on the Saturday, I think that would be beneficial for us.
Anybody thoughts on it?
Well, I would agree with you. I think it's important. You know, a lot of good pictures we see on our website and on in our pamphlets, and I think most of them have come from around there. So I agree.
Welcome to council. I disagree. How do you plan on working this money into your budget? That's my concern, is always budget.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately and unfortunately, we're not getting boost from the LCBO this year. So our order is cut almost in half for the cost. We are still looking at making a good amount of profit, but unfortunately we could not get from the LCBO because of the strike. So we're getting from the beer store this time, so it's not going to be the same amount as what we were looking at getting. So that's dropped.
That's dropped that expense line?
Yeah.
And what does it do to your revenue line?
It's not as drastic.
Okay.
There's still a drop. And of course, we don't have check in hand right now, but we're still waiting on Nextbridge. I have an email chain back and forth that we are getting 3,500 from them. When is it coming? We don't know.
And just a second. And they were not included in your original list.
Correct.
So that's where you're hoping to pick up some of that steam too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we have a budget anywhere else for marketing though, like, well?
But not that Heritage Day is not what we approved.
Right.
But no, if he's got money because you're spending less on liquor and the amount from the sales is going to be relatively the same, and you're expecting another large donation, then I have no issue. That was just my only question. She does great work here.
And his point was that, like, it's gonna benefit more than just Heritage Days, so why,
Yeah,
She's gonna
why
be
is all
there
the,
for the train with the kids too, right? On Thursday, or is it just volleyball on Thursday?
Well, we have it for the day on
Oh, okay.
Thursday, so I'll have to just confirm with her to do that.
yeah, I mean, you definitely would like to see some pictures of the puffer train, because I think that's gonna go over big.
Yeah.
Um,
And Santa will be here, he'll be on the train, so,
really,
yeah, we got word from the North Pole, he's making a trip down.
I see both, sides of the coin with, Councillor Bryson and Councillor Rizzo. We also have the, council's PR, fund. It's not a huge amount of money.
It sounds like he has the amount. That was my question. Does this work with his approved budget? And
Oh, no,
it sounds like he's got it worked in, so then
If
if he does, then I'm fine with it.
got it worked in, and if not, we all. So,
And there's still the dunk tank money from last year too, sitting there that is still not touched per se. It's gonna be used a bit for the teddy bear picnic. But probably
I think
less
that's
than,
what-
it's like,
That's what Mayor and Council had said you wanted that money used for, yeah?
so less than $200 because all the donations came through for that. It's looking like less than $200 is probably gonna be used for that.
Perfect.
Yeah, so there's still that. And luckily this year for softball, we were good for all of our equipment. Again, yeah, that was in the report, but we're running the softball this year and thanks to Rob Fenton for doing that. But yeah, so that if also, like you said, if need be,
no, I think I believe it's a huge part, and it's even in the strat plan too, it's the social media, part. Yeah, so, I have no problem with
It
it.
sounds like you got it worked out, so.
Yeah, as long as you've got it worked out, I'm okay with it too. So we're gonna accept this recommendation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, number 13, you got a hard, Dave? There, I know we have some library board meeting, minutes, you gotta follow Kim and,
This one's from me. They had a meeting last week and I was out of town, so I couldn't go. But they're doing a luncheon during Heritage Days. They're doing kids watching ball during Heritage Days. I'm not sure because I missed the last meeting. I don't know if they came up with a date yet to celebrate the accreditation yet. So just the summer's kind of tricky. I think they were gonna wait until fall. And then David Costa is the garden coordinator for the summer. That was decided then in May. If anyone had any questions, anything else?
The strategic plan, who's doing that, is that in-house or?
Yeah, so they do their own strategic plan, but I informed them, and I mean Linda knows what's going on with this one, so they wanted to wait to see this strategic plan. And then we would kind of do something in line with what is written for the whole town, because I mean, it makes sense.
Right. And that speaks again to partnerships, right?
Yeah.
Between the township and the library. That's great.
Yeah.
And you guys have decided on a place for your sign.
We're not at the meeting last week, but I'm fairly certain I know where the sign is going.
Perfect. That's good. That's gonna be good.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that we can do a little PR on that for the library.
Yeah.
When that new sign goes up.
right in the middle of the garden.
No.
Okay, any more questions of Councilor Moore? Anyway, on to communications then.
Number 4? Is that something you wanted to look at?
I'll have that mark to mark PR budget.
I mean, I was looking at the cost of like,
It's not bad.
for like C1 or B1, and it's like $100. I think it's not a bad idea.
No, I
Right?
think I totally agree with you.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I've been on it.
I just, yeah, whatever location you guys want, I don't know. We would just have to pick, right?
All right.
Girls.
I feel. Do you really? Well, that's awesome.
The one, I would pick one around the hot line.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and my question, unless I missed it,
Yeah.
C1.
is that on each ice surface or is that just on one ice surface?
I tried to see, it's not written in there anywhere.
I know.
However, I'm assuming that means,
With just one ice surface?
yeah,
That's what
I would assume it's one,
Got it.
because it's not like if you buy the custom hog line, you're gonna get your thing on all 4 of them, right?
Right.
They would wanna sell 4 different custom hog lines. So how many sheets are on there?
For
More, yeah.
I would definitely, suggestion, I would put it on the middle two.
And you'd like to buy
Club
2?
room in.
Yeah.
You'd like to buy 2? That's a good idea. And like do C1 or C2.
Why
They're very close in price.
Yeah.
They're very close in price, C1 and C2. There's not really a whole lot difference. Well, I think that's an awesome idea.
I think our logo lends itself to the square, doesn't it? The township logo, or is it?
Please provide your local files and.
Yeah, just looking at the dimensions of it, right?
Okay.
Like C1 is 36 by 36 and C2 is a 60 by 24. Well, that's like a long.
Yeah, you're
So,
probably right.
I think that we should go with the one that's
C1.
more of a square.
Yeah,
So
Does that
2,
make sense?
yeah, so 2 C1
Yeah.
on the middle 2? Out of our PR budget. We're gonna have to get an update in that line. We keep spending money on
Okay, great,
I think that's awesome.
Yeah, no, good idea.
that's a growing line.
It is a growing line. We're trying to spend money out of it, for goodness sakes.
Yeah, so we would want it on sheets 2 and 3.
2 and 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
It'll be nice when someone's sliding down the ice to. That'll be awesome, honestly. I guess nobody has any questions about GSAB. It was just replacing our Bill Bradica, just going over that hiring committee and quarterly financials and strategic planning, key performance indicators.
I read it.
Yeah.
I knew you had one.
Yeah, pretty dry, but interesting. Our next meeting is Thursday. So I'm taking out to fund to pay for that.
And thank you, letter from high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice, very nice.
Anybody enjoying Adam Brown on the Nosh run?
Evan did.
Evan,
He's gone, yeah, I was gonna ask him.
we had John Hall for one.
Yeah, Evan went out fairly
Evan was
early in the morning.
I saw him when I dropped my son off at the babysitter. He was in the first leg of it.
Yeah.
Because he went, Schreiber walked all the way to Terrace. Did he walk all the way to?
No, it was in like legs.
He did like, so he did,
Evan started up at Walker's.
and then all around Schreiber, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, Adam, did he?
I don't think he did the whole thing.
No.
Did he? I don't know.
I'm gonna say he did.
Oh, did he?
If he did, that's impressive.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah, and I know John Hall did. He did like the third leg. He started in that like Fort Gary Street.
Okay.
and all the way.
Right.
No more business and communications. We have no unfinished business and no other business. So resolution 191/24, moved by Councilor McGrath, seconded by Councilor Morrow, that the closed meeting resume at this time. All those in favor?